Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. In a world where tech keeps getting louder and more complex, today's conversation is about keeping things simple. And joining me in today's conversation is the Managing Director of Enso Group, CEO of Enso WebWorks, and an author, Vaibhav Maloo. Vaibhav, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you for inviting us to your fabulous home.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Vaibhav, first thing first. Enso Group has grown exponentially across sectors. Tell me, when things expand, things get messy at the same time. How do you keep things grounded? How do you ensure that the company and the group remains grounded?
Well, when we started off with big dreams, and as time passes, you realize that it's a lot of hard work, and it's going to take a lot more to get to the dreams. So that difference between us and the dream keeps us grounded and keeps us motivated at the same time to work hard. And we have an excellent team which helps us focus and prioritize things as needed and as required.
You're somebody who's been very vocal about values. And I think when I speak to you, I can get that glimpse of it as well.
Thank
But
you.
tell me honestly, how important are values and ethics in your daily life, and especially in decision making?
It actually is. It's not a value system as such that stops us from malpractices. It's actually in our DNA to follow the law now. So we don't think it's special values to not break the law while others are doing it or have been doing it. It's fine. We don't do it.
You don't do it. But is this something that naturally comes to you, or is it something that has something developed over a period of time?
It's always been in the DNA of my father and my business not to break the law as the best of our abilities.
And let's extend that thought a little bit. Let's also talk about philanthropy. Tell me, how important is philanthropy in your, decision making? How much does it influence, or is it like a separate part of the process altogether?
See, I think philanthropy is a very serious word for charity and doing social work. So it's definitely a dream to be able to contribute and give back into the extremely poor and destitute. But at the same time, in the way we do our business and in the philosophy we are serving society in other ways to give them free services and free platforms to use. And that's for now our way of doing charity. But one day, yes, hopefully I'll be able to do much more charity than I thought.
Well, I think so. You're doing really well. But I think, like you spoke about the philosophy, there's also very high emphasis on simplicity. Tell us about that, because I want to also talk about Enso WebWorks. How much does simplicity play a part in this entire process?
We have a cluttered internet. So it's flooded with ads, it's flooded with images, it's flooded with social media clutter. So in that whole clutter, we lose focus. So here we've designed a software system, a network of 812 apps and counting, which actually caters to everybody, every age group, every demographic, every country. We're gonna have multiple languages there, and we plan to keep things very simple and decluttered, and therefore the theme of design we've chosen is white, because it sort of shows vastness. And so therefore, because it's ease of use that is required for users, and that's what we aim to provide. That's what .com is for.
Let's turn back the time a little. Let's go back to the early days. When you started Enso WebWorks, when the idea first came, what was that real problem that you wanted to solve?
I saw a big void in Indian .com space, to be frank. When I studied the industry of each of the 12 apps that I'm making in Enso WebWorks, I see that each industry of the app is multi-billion-dollar industry, and Indians have not made an entry into it. When Modi ji talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we talk about Viksit Bharat, we need to be self-dependent and self-reliant on our own .com system. So this network of apps aims to bridge a lot of void that is there in the Indian market and the global market. Because even if the industries are worth billions of dollars, and we aim to get a pie of it, and we succeed, we are somewhere there. And that's enough for me right now to have put in the effort to have started the apps. And we don't have these, we know these are not first mover apps, most of them, but some are. And I think them along with the other ones all have a good chance to compete on the global scale and the global level, the global platforms, global landscape of internet to be somewhere.
But let me ask you a question which is a little out of syllabus here. When you talk about apps and building one of them, I think building one app in itself is quite challenging. But here you're talking about 12 apps. Tell me about the research that went behind, coming up with this and now executing this now.
See, once you build one app, you know how to go about it in a better way the second time. So all of them not being built in-house, some of them is outsourced. And we made some in-house also. Some we had to rework because they were not up to our standards. And some are in process of being reworked.
Right.
So it's you learn the first time and then you get the momentum, and when there's motivation you can work hard and do it. And that's what we've aimed to do, and I think we've gotten far. You'll see soon in about a few days that these apps are going to be live and all in use.
2026 is the year for you.
Yes, and we've opened Boris Becker as a brand ambassador to represent us, to shoot. He shot some ads for us, so looking forward to playing them for the audience.
But as more users grow, I think complexity is almost inevitable. How do you ensure that these products stop being complicated? Is there a method behind that too?
.com is a space that I've personally used a lot since college. And we, our generation is a generation which fell at the cusp of mobile phones, at the cusp of internet. And therefore, we have a fair advantage to understanding the .com very well. Like the ease of use part, what appeals to the users, what the users want. Everything is sort of understood by me and my generation, my .com specialists to a large extent. We analyze the ease of use and the happy flow and the flow of events on a site very, very much before we launch or we design the site. So a lot of research goes behind it. It's obviously easier to envisage that users will sign up easily if the process is easier. So that's in our interest.
You make it sound so simple right now. Okay, then everything that looks effortless takes a lot of effort behind this. But just around simplicity, another very important aspect here is privacy, which I think with time people have been very vocal about.
Yeah.
Tell me, what difference do you see in users' feedback now versus before?
There has been a monopoly of sites, certain sites in the world, and with that comes a lot of data that they gather. Some sites, I don't know, or yes or no, but could have breached privacy in the yesteryears when the systems were simpler to override or hack. But overall, we aim to ensure and guarantee privacy to users and not work with data at this moment, because I know it's sensitive to work with people's data, numbers, phone numbers, email IDs, etc. And this sensitive data has to be secured, and we will not sell it to marketeers or use it for data, projecting AI through AI or anything like that. We don't have any such aims right now.
Tell me one thing. I mean, first of all, how important are feedbacks to you? And second, from a user's feedback, like you mentioned about your philosophy of simplicity, how do you know that simplicity is actually working from a user's feedback point of view?
It's too early to say that. We go live around Valentine's Day. And
any specific reason for choosing that date?
No, it just fell around the time we are ready.
Okay.
So why not? And we post that, plan to market it and get user feedback. We already have about 10,000 users from the few sites we're running. And now we have a single sign-on coming up. So we'll know soon enough what people think of it. And then we work backwards and see if we have to go back to the drawing board and make drastic changes or a few.
So the process will be quite adaptable. I mean,
the process is always hands-on and evolving. You have to keep adapting, keep evolving, keep changing, keep improving. That's an ongoing process. But what user feedback and users reaction to our products, initial reaction, is yet to be seen. I hope it's good.
But a
lot of hard work has gone into it.
A lot of hard work has indeed gone into it. But I also want to talk about another aspect of your life. You're a man of many talents. If I take away this entrepreneur business side of yours, you're also an author. Now,
Thank you.
this is a very different vertical to what you're doing right now. First of all, tell me, how do you balance both of them together?
Writing was always a hobby. Um, I don't know when it started, but it started with the passion to make change also, in a way. So whatever I write, I write with the attitude to make an impact and make a change in the reader's point of view, or point of views that I know I can correct, because I do talk to people and I know what generally floats around as information. And I whatever I could, I have put in my two books, The Business of Life and An Indian Manifesto, which is like a collection of my ex comments as well as my articles and some fresh literature there. On the development of India is categorized under 54 ministries, and what each ministry needs to do, or what needs to be done under each ministry to make India a superpower. So that book is my favorite book. And The Business of Life, I wrote as a collection of essays, and I remember changing it to Q&As to make it more interesting. But it was a lot of thoughts in my head, jumbled up, all put down in on my laptop on an MS Word document.
Right.
It stayed with me for 2-3 years before I published it.
2-3 years. But I mean, that book asks a lot of direct questions, right? I mean, was that always the plan, or again, did it happen naturally? What prompted that?
No, it was a collection of essays. It was a simple collection of 99 essays. I added 2 more, and I changed it to Q&As to make it more interesting. Because who would read essays on Australia or far out parts of the world,
Right,
when people don't read that much anymore? So why not make it interesting in form of Q&As? So that's why I did.
But your ideation and the way you condense your thoughts into your words, does that ideation also kind of helps you when you run the business, especially Enso WebWorks? I mean, does that consciously flow your habit of thoughts into actions, or that's a different domain altogether?
No, it does always. You have to be in sync with what you think before you say it. I think always.
And this has always been your first love. I mean, very natural to you.
What, writing?
Writing and being this expressive when it comes to
Thank
work.
you so much. It's very nice of you. Yeah, it's always been my far out dream to be vocal and about my views, and lucky enough to be able to do it.
Lucky enough
to be able to do it, and also write. Yeah, that's been a passion of late, especially. The third book's coming out this year, hopefully.
This year itself.
Yeah.
2026 has a lot for you, I believe.
2026 is it's awaited my apps and the books. We have a surprise of a couple of extra apps planned also in this year. So
post 12,
yes. Depending on the initial reaction and our passion and our energy levels at that point. But yes, mostly we are going to be launching them this year.
But one very interesting thing I observed is your second book talks about India's future.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you feel now is the right time for it?
I didn't actually, you know what, the book was, it was always meant to be a collection of my thoughts on each ministry and what needs to be done under them to improve India in an organized way, so the government of India reads it.
Right.
Now, under Modi ji's leadership and stewardship, it's actually inspiring, because this particular book can actually be read and translated into action.
Wow.
I feel like the situation or the timing or my age or whatever it is just fell at the right time for this book, I guess.
So you were telling me about that one thought that you made you pause and reflect personally. What was that while writing the book?
It was mainly a hope. It was a hope that somebody in the government might read it, might not act on it, may not act on it, may be shelved, may not even sell, but nothing of that sort happened. I think I got it through to some people in the governments. Personally, I sent to some people, and by and large, I hope it takes larger notice among the policymakers to just glance through it. Maybe a minister of health may just want to just see my chapter on health ministry and see, maybe I can do this, maybe I cannot. It's so simple, or not, it's not feasible within a budget, or however it is. I just hope it's read, and that's what always I was thinking always throughout writing the book. I hope people read it. Right people read it.
But is there a kind of feedback so far that has really stayed with you or really brought a smile to your face?
Yes, I got acknowledged by a Rajya Sabha member of Parliament for reading the book so far. That's the only acknowledgement officially I have. But
that's quite a big, actually. I mean,
yeah,
you make it sound very simple here, but that's huge actually from Rajya Sabha member.
Yeah, it is actually. That's where it matters. the policymakers, the people up in the government, if they read the book and they are, um, they think it's worth a read and it's possible to implement the policies mentioned in the book, the ideas mentioned in the book, uh, my job is done. And that's what I thought was the right time to write this kind of a book, because change is happening fast over here in India. It's growing at 6.5%. Government is vibrant. People have faith in what's going on, and well, it just happened.
Since you rightly said that change is happening quite fast here, again, if I go back to your entrepreneurial journey, tell me, looking ahead, what really excites you about Enso Webworks? Where do you think this is going, and what will be your, foreseeable target in the next couple of years?
See, our current job is to acquire users. So we are going to go global with this. The reason we didn't take an Indian ambassador or an Indian viewpoint to the site is because the internet is a large marketplace. We have 7 continents, and there's population on all of them now, thanks to technology. Even Antarctica has people. So we have to see the global game in this, which is as simple as the Indian game in this. So the scalability part excites me the most about this business.
Vaibhav, since you mentioned about global aspect here as well, what kind of habits or, business ideas that you see in the global market that you feel Indian market is still lacking, or probably we can work towards this as well?
See, Indians are not willing to pay for services so easily, because everything is free in India almost, and service labor is cheap, and lifestyle is not the most expensive. But people are willing to pay big bucks for these kind of sites in countries where ease of use is prioritized and they value what we are giving them. So even if people don't subscribe to the plans, the basic or the pro or the enterprise plan that we have for the 12 sites, and they just sign up, that's good enough. That's good enough for me. I'm happy. Come use the sites, use the free features. But if you're serious about your the way you look on the internet, and along with the features we have, you should get a verified take and take the basic plan at least.
But that's quite a journey, actually, being just a one-time viewer versus translating into a potential customer or a regular user.
That's what we want. One would want daily active users. That's the strength of any site. The community building up, people talking about it, word of mouth spreading it. That's the secret of success of most good products.
And if I may ask, what is your secret sauce? How do you think your apps, the websites, will attract more users? What is the USP, if I may ask you?
Each one is delivering services innovatively. I wouldn't say we are all delivering things, we're delivering all things that are done first time in the world, but definitely a lot of them are being done for the first time in India. And a lot of them are also first of their kind in the world. So we're looking forward to these disruptions breaking into the market and seeing how people react to it.
Let me make the next question slightly tough for you. Out of these 12 apps, which one is the closest to your heart, or which one took the most amount of time, and why?
Info Profile, the social media app where we exchange visiting cards, is my personal favorite so far. But there's one coming up called Info Legacy.
Okay.
That is the last site we're planning. And that plans to change things for me about how I feel about social media or anything else. It's really more exciting. It's a surprise. It's not announced yet. So we're working on it. We should be done with it in a month or two. And it should be out in the market.
But for users, and especially for people who are not really familiar with the domain, it's very easy for them to say, okay, this website is not really attracting me. They don't know the pain points that has happened to bring that site live on screen. Tell us, what is that one thing that people actually ignore, or you wish that people knew more about these websites and the effort that goes behind it?
It's about the right idea and a bit of know-how about the .com world and coding and how it works. It's not about being a tech specialist, but it's about understanding .com space and how to. You have to be a user of .com, a frequent user of .com like me. I would say that's a given, and then a bit of know-how along with design sense and a bit of ideas can do it for you.
You still remember the very first .com site you used back in the early days?
It was, I think, Alta Vista for searching stuff on the internet when it just came out. I remember clearly.
And that helped. That used to be the Google back then for us, I guess.
Yeah, it was the Google back then. 98 or 97, I think it was. Yeah.
But Vaibhav, every big idea requires a big team and a collaborative effort. Could you tell us about your team members and the scale of your team?
We are about 85 people, different departments. We have QAs, quality analysts. We have programmers in different languages, native Flutter, React JS. We have backend developers. We have UI UX team, a UI UX team. We have a digital marketing team. We have a legal team. We have a small HR team, and then we have support staff, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of effort from their side to actually work on these apps and make them so functional. They come out with problems and ideas themselves, and ask me if they should be implemented or not. And I'm very happy always to say yes. If you want to go the extra mile, why not go for it? Most of the time, we say yes. They're very, very smart and they're very passionate. And it's a young team. It's not a very old team.
Bright
So
minds,
bright
modern
minds, and
ideas.
it's very vibrant in office. It's good working in this industry.
But I'm very curious. For a layman, how much time does it take to bring an app into existence? How much time the process entirely takes?
So the app world is it's not very costly to make an app. It's very entry to barrier is very low. You just need an idea, and
But idea, I think itself, that is the first seed, and that
that seed has to be their risk capital, risk appetite, time risk, and along with you should have the appetite and the confidence to go ahead with anything that you're passionate about. So Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, all these disruptions are so scaled today in the world that it's inspiring to actually go down the route of something simple like what we're building. It doesn't involve e-commerce much. It involves mostly .com and users using the site without any human involvement. So the backend team, the coders that we have, it's if you invest in the right kind of manpower, human resource, you'll come out with a good outcome in 3 to 4 months. Whereas if you are lax about that, it may take longer.
So
there'll be bugs, there'll be fixes required later. So it's better to invest in a good team in the beginning to actually come up with a product fast. It takes anything between 3 to 6 months to even a year to make an app, depending on the complexities involved.
So what is the longest time it took you guys out of these 12 apps? Which app took the longest?
Info Profile, the first one. We didn't know what to do in the beginning, so it took us the longest.
They always say when the opening is good, if it's set, then the next batter also comes and plays accordingly. I think that's the whole.
Next apps are more relaxed because this app is well received.
Yeah.
We don't have the right amount of users yet, the target amount of users yet, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. So if I talk about you as an author again, 2 books, and now I think third one we can expect in 2026. Anything you can tell us? I know it's too early. Anything you can tell us about the book?
The book's manuscript is gone for editing, and post that it's going to be published. I cannot reveal much about it, unfortunately, but I don't know how contractually bound I am. But it's a very good book. It's a self-help book. And it's inspired by the likes of Atomic Habits and Psychology of Money, but it's an Indianized version of that book. Again, a lot of values. So I hope you read it, and I'll send you a copy.
So Vaibhav, tell me, who were the writers you looked up to in your days, or probably who still inspire you now?
I can't write fiction. If I were to write fiction, I would want to be someone like Dan Brown. But he's just too good to be true, I feel, especially the ones with Robert Langdon as his protagonist or main character.
Yeah.
Not protagonist, main character. Those books are the best. But in non-fiction, I would say in self-help books as Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell's Tipping Point, and those books are very good. And followed by Morgan Housel's 3 books, same as ever, Psychology of Money and Psychology of Spending.
So money, finances is your domain.
Self-help, anything. Yeah. It's not about money only. It's about any career.
Self-help.
Yeah.
So if anybody reads your book, tell me, what is that one takeaway you hope they have after reading it?
I hope something in the book they find life-changing or path-breaking and change or so affirming their views in what they were thinking that they agree with me. And that's all. That's the ultimate compelling satisfaction for an author, that he's changed, or he or she has changed someone's point of views with the literature.
Finally, 2026 has just started. Anything exciting up? I know your work now, but anything that you're really most looking forward to this year? What is it?
Nothing special. Just hoping for my apps to take off well and people in the world to see them and use them and love them. And my book also, obviously. So it's a busy year ahead, and let's hope it's exciting.
Well,
25 was very good, very kind.
Well, we hope 26 remains the same kind and, in fact, more better for you. But in this busy time, you took time for us. Thank you so much for that. Lovely, lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaibhav.